In 1957, Lawrence Bader rented a boat to go fishing in Lake Erie. A storm occurred and his boat was found the next day, but there was no sign of Bader. His body was not recovered from the lake, but in an unusual twist, he wasn't dead either. So how can he missing, but also confirmed not dead? Find out more in this video, and please subscribe, thank you. Lawrence Joseph Bader was born in December 1926, and his occupation was a cookware salesperson in Akron, Ohio for Reynolds Metals Corporation. Bader had a wife named Mary, and 3 children, with another on the way. In May 1957, Bader kissed his wife goodbye, as he left their property to rent a 14-foot fishing boat at Lake Erie. At the lake, Bader placed his fishing gear into the boat, and rowed into the lake in search of catch of the day. The weather turned, and a particularly aggressive storm passed over the lake. He did not return to his wife and children that evening as planned. The following morning, Bader's boat was located and said to have had minor damage and an oar was missing. Lawrence Bader was nowhere to be found. 3 years later in 1960, after no signs of his body being found, Bader was officially declared dead. It's only when we skip forward to 1965, almost 8 years after Bader disappeared, that things take a very weird turn. Following confirmation of Lawrence Bader's death, his wife Mary Lou decided to move forward with her life. She was now able to claim Social Security payments for $254, and almost $40,000 from Lawrence's life insurance. She met another man, they started dating, and soon got engaged to be married. Things were certainly looking up. In February 1965, Bader's 21-year-old niece Suzanne Pica was at an archery event in Chicago, when she spotted somebody she recognized. She went up to the man in question and asked, "Pardon me, but aren't you my Uncle Larry Bader who disappeared 7 years ago?" The man just laughed, but Suzanne noticed distinct similarities between the man in front of her and her dead uncle, despite an eye patch and mustache. The man she had approached went by the name of Fritz Johnson from Nebraska, who was a radio announcer and TV sports director at KETV7. This guy had been a minor celebrity in the Omaha area since the late 1950s. Johnson got married in 1961 to Nancy Zimmer, and adopted her daughter, and later had a son together. Johnson went on to explain that he had a cancerous tumor behind his left eye, hence why he was wearing an eye patch. All of this information checked out, leading Johnson to think that Suzanne had misidentified him, had similarities to her uncle, or she was simply crazy. Suzanne was adamant that Fritz Johnson was her uncle Lawrence Bader, and called Bader's brother in Akron. Bader's brother too came to the same conclusion that Johnson was his brother, and that Suzanne was not crazy after all. Johnson and his wife thought this was some sort of prank, and maintained their story. Police eventually took Fritz Johnson's fingerprints to close the case. Using Bader's military records to verify Fritz Johnson's fingerprints were not the same, they were in for a chilling shock. The 2 prints matched perfectly. Johnson still did not confess, and attributed it all to a very bad case of amnesia. Not only this, Bader's first wife Mary Lou now had to pay back the life insurance money, and Bader, or Johnson, now had 2 wives. Is this one of the most baffling amnesia disappearances on record, a weird story forever unanswered? Could Bader maybe have struck a rock when he fell out the boat? These are not completely impossible theories. Johnson's marriage to Nancy was then declared null and void, however she stood by him. Johnson again still maintained he had no knowledge of Mary Lou, his children, or anything before being Fritz Johnson, even when psychiatrists examined him for 10 days straight. Given the invention of a whole new identity, others are more skeptical of Bader's story, claiming that he didn't have to tell his wife he wanted to leave her. It would also transpire that Bader was $20,000 in debt, being almost $220,000 in 2024, and that this was a get-rich-quick scam to avoid tax evasion and look after family. Another theory is that a combination of the boat fall and his tumor meant Bader may have endured a severe case of amnesia lasting several years, which was extremely rare, but not unheard of. In September 1966, Bader lost his battle with his malignant tumor, and passed away in Omaha. The myth as to whether he cheated death for financial gain or other reasons has never been officially verified, leaving the question surrounding a hoax. Did Larry Bader die? Was Fritz Johnson really Larry Bader? Or is this a bizarre and freaky coincidence? Let me know what you think in the comments, and please subscribe, thank you.